About 6 to 7 months ago, Diego reached out to me seeking advice on how to successfully exit his Amazon FBA business. Now I'm very excited to share with you Diego's story and everything that happened after our initial conversation. Where are you originally from, and why did you get into the Amazon FBA space?
Nice to meet you all. My name is Diego. I'm from Guatemala. Right now I'm 32. I'm a digital nomad, currently living in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. I'm gonna stay here for the next couple of months and then maybe going to Southeast Asia. I was born in Guatemala City. I graduated from the school at 22. I'm a mechatronic engineer. Then I started my own business. I started a paintball business in Guatemala City. So I built this business and scaled it for 6 years. And then I want to build something bigger and I want to start exploring different experiences. So I decided to start getting into YouTube. Then I found a guy from Guatemala who was teaching Amazon FBA. I got in love with the business model and with all the parts of the business. So I decided to jump in, and from there, I started building the brand that I just exit. I'm really happy to share this process with you.
Oh, this is awesome, Diego. What was the year when you started selling?
I started selling in 2016.
When you started, have you had any big challenges, any learning experiences, or right off the bat, it went fairly smooth?
Maybe because I have had some businesses in the past. I know that there's a lot of obstacles that you will find on the way. On the first step, I start trying to get that motivation that I need every morning, because I was waking up at 4 a.m. to study 3 hours in the morning because I had a job by that time. Wow. So I just started a mantra that really moved me forward, that is make your own luck. So that's that really remind me every day like what I'm doing this, because I knew that in the beginning it's gonna be harder. I studied for maybe 6 months without making any money. So I just was studying. I didn't have any more money to put into the business. But because of this phrase, I always remember why I'm doing this, why I need it. There was a lot of obstacles, maybe that's what I want to say, but I always remember my phrase that really moved me up and really gave me that energy that I need to build the business.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people expect quick returns, like within a month or two. But just like with any business, it takes some time. It takes some patience and the right attitude to get it off the ground. And then what's nice about Amazon FBA, I think you would agree, is you can systemize it fairly well. And then wherever you are, whatever you do, it still works for you as long as you do certain basic things. From 2016 till you sold the business, which is this year, 2021, that was like 5 years of work, right? Tell us, what are the major lessons you learned? Like the things maybe you changed the belief system about, or maybe something about business operations. So lessons in terms of business operations and mindset as well, that made you who you are now, that you wouldn't otherwise learn if you didn't have this business.
Maybe to start, I want to share the story about my paintball field in Guatemala, because I built this business by myself, but it took me maybe 6 years or 7 years to build it to a level where I feel like comfortable. Trying to work by yourself is really hard. An Amazon FBA business, you need to be really good in different areas. Let's talk about PPC, campaign manager. Let's talk about data. Let's talk about branding. Let's talk about supply chain management. Let's talk about financial. When I started this business, I saw that I need support from other people to try to scale really faster. So I decided to look for business partners. I talked with 2 guys. One was like a strategic partner. He has a lot of experience on the business intelligence side. So he jumped with me and he take care of all this part. And then I looked for another partner because I saw that we will need more capital, because this business, you will always need more capital, because you'll be selling really good at the States. Then with the profit of the state, you can start selling in Canada. But if you want to expand and start selling in Europe, UK, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, and then you want to start selling in Japan, Australia, India, you're going to need a lot more money of what the business is producing. So in that moment, I decided that if I want to take this business to another level, I need to sell a small amount of the business and look for a partner to just put the capital. So that was my second partner that I jumped into the business. I will not get to the level of revenue where I sold it if I will not take this decision in the past. So I think that is important for you to analyze and say, okay, what are my strengths, where I can put my time? Because we all have 24 hours a day, but let's say that you are going to be working really hard only 6 or 7 hours. So you need to know where you're going to put that 6 or 7 hours. Maybe someone is going to be working really hard on the data side, but maybe you are going to be on the strategic side. You're going to try to understand, put the goals, where we are going, what's our revenue, what's our profit, what's our profit margin, everything. It matters on this business, but you only have that 6 or 7 hours. So you need to start like trying to build a team and try to understand where to put this effort so you can scale fast. Good to mention it right now. I have 3 business partners living here in Playa del Carmen with me, and we are building 4 more brands. Imagine that. When
That's
I started,
beautiful.
I only have the time and the capital to build 1 small brand. Right now, we are building 4 brands at the same moment. We have procedures, we have a lot of SOPs, we have a lot of things that we're building systems to scale even faster. So I know that we can beat the exit that we just had in just a couple of months because we have a team and we have the capital to build it faster. So you need to know who you can trust, you need to know how you can scale faster. And I think there's people always out there looking for that opportunity. You just need to go and get them and tell them, hey, you want to join? I saw that you're good on this, I'm not good on that, but maybe we can work together and we can build something bigger and faster.
No, yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, Diego. To build something big, you definitely need more than one mind to work on the project because everybody has different skill sets. And it sounds like you found really good partners. And from what I hear, you were the operator in the business, you had a strategic partner and had an investor, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And how would you describe the role of the strategic partner, just for the clarification?
He is an operator too. Let's say that I used to make 100% of the task of the Amazon FBA. So I decided to split it on 50-50, where I can put my time, where I was really good on that 50%, and where my strategic partner can put his 50% of time of work on these 50% of the business. So that's how I decided to split it.
So basically different skill sets. You were in charge of certain areas and he was in charge of other areas.
Correct.
It sounds to me from conversations with many people that finding the right partners is not an easy process. What do you think, and obviously this is not the topic of this whole video, but in short, what do you think made your partnership successful and how can people replicate that success if they decide to find partners for their businesses?
You need to have history with that person. You need to work in a project in the past. So you try to understand why he will be a good fit for your business. So that will be my best recommendation because you cannot just see someone on the street and say, yeah, maybe he's a good business partner and you don't know anything about him. You need to try to understand what he really moves him forward. He wants freedom, he wants money, he wants girl, we don't know. So you need to try to understand this to see what is people looking for. You need to do your job. It's not just like trying to get anyone in the team. You need to really calm down, analyze, talk with a lot of people and try to see which one is the best for you.
Finding the right partners like marriage, right? You have to know them well enough. You have to have alignment in terms of values and goals. And you have to fill it out, test it out, and see that you actually enjoy working together. So let's dive more into the business itself. If you could explain what was your business about, what space you were selling in, maybe how many products, revenues, profit margins, everything Amazon sellers would understand and can relate to, just so they can get a better idea of what you've actually built.
We were selling on the home and kitchen niche. So that was the only niche that we have sold for now. And we were selling around 22 SKUs, but it was just one main product, let's say. So one product, we create 22 SKUs because you can create variation of color, design, size, and stuff like that.
So one product, 22 variations.
Correct, one product, 22 variations. Yeah. But yeah, we can put it like in bundle. So it's another product, but it's just the same product. Let's talk about the revenue. I think that there's a lot of people looking to buy these businesses, more than 100 companies out there, aggregators, investment funds. But there's a line that you need to cross to try to get like let's say a higher multiple because multiples are changing. So definitely if you are selling more than $500,000, you're going to get like best investment funds that are trying to acquire. So I think that is like a line that you need to reach.
So at least $500,000 in revenue.
At least $500,000 in revenue in 1 year. You can sell your business if you're doing less than that, but it's going to be maybe a little more difficult and maybe it's going to be like a different process. Yeah. So that's something that I recommend. Always take care of your profit margin because your exit amount is going to be based on the profit, not on the revenue, of course. So that's something that you need to understand. Where you stand on that process? If you have a 22%, you have a 25%, and what is the growth of the business? Because a lot of people is looking for the business to keep it growing, maybe sell it in the future and just keep it by themselves. So that's something important that you need to put effort to. If you want to sell a business, you need to give to this person that is going to buy it to you. You need to give him a plan, a business plan of where is the business going, what other marketplaces you can attach. Let's talk about Walmart, eBay. or what other countries you can start selling. If you're only selling at the States and you have a really good revenue and profit margin, maybe your product is good for Europe too. So that's something important that you need to build to try to combine these people to get it. And they will love it, they will love it because they are good on what they are doing, let's say, but they definitely want to plan where they want to take the business for the next steps.
Right. So ideally, you want to sell your business when it's showing really healthy growth trend, right? Every month is a little better. You sell more and more over time. So it's not declining, but it's growing. That way you attract the most attention from these investors.
You can sell your business if your revenue is going down. Definitely you can, because there will be someone maybe interested, but he's not going to give you the same multiple if you are going up. So, and another thing to mention is that you need to know what goal of revenue or profit do you want to reach, and when you're going to be comfortable about selling business, because that's something important. You need to know how much money do you want to get from that. You need to study how to get this amount, what multiple, what profit margin. So that's really important to know before you start talking with people, because people is going to try to put you a price, but it's really important that you know your price.
Yeah, so basically reverse engineer what is your goal and what needs to be done in order to achieve the goal. Can we look at your business as a case study? Obviously, not everything is shareable. I know that you sign a certain confidentiality agreements when you exit the business. So tell us what you're comfortable telling. Let's run it as an example for someone. So let's say if the goal is to sell a business at $1 million, can you tell us what needs to happen and what multiples people can expect, at least in 2021, in order to achieve the goal?
Okay. So if you want to sell for $1 million, you can get of your SDE, that is social discretionary earning, you can get like 3.5 multiple. So if you have a business that is making 300K on net profit a year, you can start looking for that $1 million. Then you need to split that in 12 months. So if 300 split in 12 months, let's talk about 25,000 of net profit per month. So from there, if you want to have 25 profit margin, you need to be selling 100K. If you want to start selling 100K on revenue, you need to start looking for products making, 20K, 30K, and you start summing, adding all of this and try to get the 100K. So that's how we build the next brand for our business. We know what amount of money we want to reach in the future, and we say, okay, we want to sell it for, let's say, $3 million. So we know what we have to be doing today to try to get that amount in the future. Because if you don't have this kind of plan and you only have one product, it's going to be really difficult to get that level of revenue. So you need to have a line of product. You need to build a brand, and you need to have different kind of stuff. Like if you're going to be selling a home and kitchen, you need to have different products on home and kitchen under the same brand to try to reach this level. And when you get this level, you know where's the people looking for.
So if someone's in a similar situation and if they need to exit the business at $1 million, they can look for about 3.5 multiple, meaning if they make 300K in profit a year, then they're getting very close to around $1 million in exit, at least right now based on current supply and demand situation.
Yeah, correct. The multiples are changing. The multiples are going higher every month, let's say, because you can.
That's very true.
Selling for 4x, 4.2, 5x even. But definitely it depends on the business. You could be selling like a really good product, but if something easy that anyone can copy, anyone can manufacture that in China, that's going to affect on your multiple. But if you have like something that is really difficult to copy because you create like a really good brand, a really good product, you make a bundle of different products, so that's going to be better for you. So it depends of your strategy, definitely. The price of the product on Amazon or the marketplace, it makes a difference too, because if you're selling higher ticket products, let's say 100 USD or something like that, that is going to be better for you because you will have less competition. So it's going to be harder for someone to compete with you. So it depends on many factors, but let's talk about 3.5 for the moment for 2021.
Yeah, you're so right that it's changing all the time, Diego. Like when I sold my business in November 2020, my multiple was like 335. And I could probably ask for more, but the market wasn't as crazy as it is right now, that's for sure. So it's growing generally, but as you said, it's custom to every business. Every business has their unique advantages. And from your experience, what do you think buyers are currently looking for? Like, what do you think contributed to your business being valued at 3.5 multiple?
First, I want to discuss how Amazon Marketplace have been changing in the past. When FBA program started, I didn't start selling it by that time, but they said that you just need to upload products. And that was just like what you have to do. you just put the products on the marketplace and you start selling like crazy.
Yeah,
Maybe then
good old days.
like really basic. Then it came the data, let's say season or stage, where you need to put a little of effort or trying to understand the keyword, search volume, conversion rate. So that's when I start selling. So I did my homework, I did all my studies, I saw a lot of videos, and I understand how to rank on the Amazon algorithm. So that's when I start selling. But I think that now it's kind of difficult because you need to build a brand. If you don't have a brand right now, it's going to be really, really difficult.
Amen. Couldn't agree more.
You can have a lot of products selling a lot of money, but if all these products have different brand, different niche, and it doesn't make sense to be selling on the same store, maybe people is not going to look for that kind of business because they want to scale it. They want to put your brand on Walmart, maybe. They want to put your brand in another marketplace. So if you have these kind of crazy SKUs, one in pets, one in common kitchen, one in automobiles, it's going to be really hard to sell the business with that. So focus on building a brand right now, because I think it's the most important for the success of Amazon business, and try to have a line of products under that brand that makes sense. Okay.
The general theme I see, investors are also looking for really nice brands. They want to own something that has predictability, right? They don't want general stores because that means that there's no loyalty. But if there's a clear brand, people are probably coming back for the same kind of products to the same brand to buy again. Is that kind of the rationale they have?
Yeah, of course.
And tell me more about the brand. I was going to ask you how important it was. So what was done well, and what maybe are the things you learned on the way in terms of brand building in your particular case on and off Amazon?
We were selling only on Amazon, so we didn't put any effort from outbound Amazon. But what I can tell you about Amazon, it was that we really focus on marketing inside the platform. With Amazon Brand Registry, you get access to a lot of tools that nobody's using. So you need to understand how to create a really good video, how to use a sponsor brand, sponsor display. You need to understand the placement, how you earn the placement from the searches. So we put a lot of effort on that. We didn't buy the images from Fiverr or stuff like that. We took our own photo shoot. We took our own videos. We created videos for the customers. We tried to understand what they were looking, what moment they experienced with our product, because we really focus on the branding. We really focus on all of these assets that then you're going to sell, but definitely they will create an increase in revenue for your product because you're going to look better than the competition, because there's a lot of people maybe selling the same product, but they will not put this effort on the marketing side. So they will not understand what the difference about one main image that really create that desire of the customer to get your product.
Sounds like Amazon is fairly price competitive marketplace. So people look for the best deal on the platform. Would you say your products were priced competitively, or were you like an average price product, or mostly higher than average in terms of sale price?
Yeah, we were higher,
Higher than.
Yeah, we were.
That's awesome to hear.
we were doing a really good job on the marketing side, so we don't look cheap. So that was something important for us, that we want our customer to really get something valuable for the money. We have some competitors selling at 50% of our sales price, but that doesn't worry us because we know that our marketing and our product worth it for the customer.
Gotcha. Yeah, it sounds to me like you maximized your ability to build a strong brand within the Amazon space. And that's exactly what justified higher price and made your margins healthy and made your business attractive for the buyers. And that's the whole formula. It's easier said than done, obviously. But what do you think was the number one thing that you mastered over the last 5 years or so that gives you that confidence to build new brands that you know you can sell in the future as well?
The knowledge and the space is always changing. You can be a really good seller today, but in 2 years, you are not going to be selling good if you're not learning. So that's something that I really push a lot with my business partner, that we need to be learning all the time. There's always people doing new strategies. There's always new networking events. There's always new masterminds. So you need to be surrounded with the people trying new things and the people that is better than you, the people that is making a lot of more money than you. So that's where you're going to start learning how to manage, because Amazon is always changing everything. So if you're not changing at the same rate, you're going to have a lot of problems. So that's maybe the most important thing that I can mention, that you always need to be improving. You always need to be better. You always need to be comparing the last year of revenue and say, okay, how I'm going to beat this year, how I'm going to make something bigger and something faster, or what are the bottleneck that I need to beat so I can scale even faster.
No, I agree with you on that. It's very important to stay on top of things because it is changing very fast. And yeah, without the right surrounding, it's hard to stay up to date with what's working, with what makes the highest ROI, basically, on your time, on your efforts, on your money. So you're damn right on that, Diego. Wanted to now chat more about the whole process of selling the business. Like when you decided, okay, maybe it's a good idea to sell. I know that's around the time we probably talked for the first time, right? You're like, okay, let me see how it looks like, what should I prepare right now in advance, and also how soon in advance you recommend people to prepare for the exits. Like, tell us about the whole process step by step. What does it really take to sell the business?
I decided to take at least 6 months of study to try to understand what is people looking for this kind of brand and how to maximize the exit. So in the first month, I just paid some online courses to try to understand a little more the financial side. How do you value a business? What do you need to look for? And how do you understand why this valuation is worth that? And then I decided to jump with at least 5 people who have sold the business in the past, who can share the process. So you were one of these, Andrea. I really appreciate that because it's really important to understand what they will change if they will be in the same position again. They
Good
will
question.
tell you. They will tell you like, yeah, I will do this different. I will focus more on this, and I will change this. So that's something really important that you can find online. You never know that who is gonna open the door and who's gonna share the knowledge with you. But there's a lot of people who can do it. Like I mentioned, I had 5 people sharing the experience with me, and that was really really valuable for me. So then after knowing this, the theoretical and the practical part with these people, I decided to start looking for companies and where to sell it. And I decided to jump with one of the online brokers. So I decided to contact them and tell them, okay, I'm ready to sell my brand. This is my brand. This is what I'm looking. This is the amount of the exit that I want to reach. And from there, it started the process.
Before we dive deeper into the process, quick question. Have you achieved that goal that you set for yourself?
Yeah, of course. We
Awesome.
even beat it. You know?
Congratulations. That's amazing. I know it feels great. And yeah, so sometimes right after I sold my business, I was like, did it really happen? Let me double check my bank account, you know. Especially for someone like us. I know both you and I were from countries that don't give you as much opportunity generally, but internet kind of equaled everything out nowadays. And you being from Guatemala, knowing a little bit of your story, I know your surrounding is definitely not like digital nomads, entrepreneurs who build online businesses. So for you to achieve something like this probably feels pretty cool, right?
Yeah, correct. Maybe we didn't have the access to the information. So that's why for me it's really important to share the experience, to share the knowledge with a lot of people from Guatemala or Latin guys, because we can do it, you know, we can build an online business and we can sell it. So we just need to know where to start. And maybe that's our responsibility to share the knowledge, because definitely even you or me, we didn't know where to start, and somebody put us on the right road. So that's something really important for me to start sharing.
Yeah, very true. Somebody shared something with us. It's at the right time, so we took action. So it feels great to help others as well. Now, in terms of the sale process, Diego, you reached out to the broker. Tell us the next steps, like big stages of listing your business for sale. What does it take?
When you talk with an online broker, after some due diligence from there, they are going to give you like an initial valuation, and they're going to tell you, okay, your business is valued this amount. If you accept it, then they will launch your business on the marketplace. And from there, you're going to start getting interviews with a lot of people who is interested. So I got like maybe 8 interviews in the first week when we listed.
That's a very good sign.
Yeah, it was really fast. You know, I was amazed of how many people want the brand and they want to understand a little more about the business. So after having these 8 interviews, I got 2 like proposals, like people who say, okay, I want to make a deal with you. They want to negotiate the terms and stuff like that. And I choose one of them. And from there, we start the due diligence process. If everything was made on the right way, if you didn't put any black hat tactics to try to sell more on your product, and if you do everything fine and you don't have pending liability or stuff like that, or you don't have a trouble with your supplier that maybe he's gonna stop supplying your products in the next couple of months. So that's when the due diligence start. It took from 2 weeks to 6 or 8 weeks, depends on of every case. And from there, then you sign the APA, that is the asset purchase agreement, where these companies acquire all your brand and all the assets. And then it's really easy just to get the money on the bank account. It depends on how you structure the deal. If you're gonna get 100% cash upfront, or you're gonna get 80%, and then the 20 rest you're gonna get it on an earnout or a stability payment. But it depends of any deal, how do you structure the deal and what you're looking and what they are looking. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's customizable. So if I got your story right, within the first week, you had 8 interviews, and out of those 8 interviews, you had 2 offers. So all within the first week of your business being listed for sale, right?
Yeah, correct. I accept the offer 19 days after list on the marketplace.
That's pretty awesome.
That's crazy,
19 days after you listed.
Yeah, that's crazy because I know that it can take 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, but for me it took only 19 days. So it was really excited for me to know that there was someone out there really interested about the business, and he saw the potential and he wanted to take it to the next level.
To me, this speaks about 2 things very clearly. One, there's high demand for Amazon FBA businesses right now. 2, your business must be a pretty good one, and that's why it had enough interest, and you had even more than one person offer you what you were looking for. Well done. Now, the due diligence process, you mentioned 2 to 8 weeks. Walk us through this. What happens during due diligence process, and what could a person who's thinking of selling the business take care of in advance to make sure there's no red flags when they do get to that stage?
In the due diligence, they are going to try to understand your financial statement. So it's really important that you have them ready and in order. I hired a bookkeeper to try to have everything smoothly and everything clear. They are going to ask you for your credit card statement, for your bank statement. They are going to get some interviews with your supplier. If you're working with a 3PL warehouse in any part of the world, they will want to talk with them so they can make sure that they are keeping your goods there. They have a price list that is in line with what you're saying and all of that. So it's only taking calls. I took like maybe 20 calls on that.
Oh, wow.
It was a lot of things. Yeah, because they want to understand a little more. If, for example, if you have a graphic designer, they want to make sure that the graphic designer gives you the ownership of the arts or the asset that she creates, for example. So that's something important for these big companies because they want to make sure that they will not have any trouble in the future. So, but it's just like a procedure that you need to follow. It's really straightforward. It's nothing like complicated. It's like a little long. For example, in my case, it was almost 8 weeks because they were waiting for some VAT approvals at Europe, at the UK. So that makes a little harder to process, but it was like straightforward and just wait and back and forth and just try to build the due diligence from 0 to 100, and then it was like really easy to finish.
Okay, so as long as the account health is in good standing, you don't have any big warnings, suspensions in the past, nothing like that, basically no Amazon problems. And as long as your supply chain is built well, you don't have any issues with your suppliers, you should be good. It's just the process of answering the questions.
For example, they want to make sure that they will not run out of stock. So they will want to talk with your supplier to see in what phase are the current orders that you placed some weeks or months ago. So that's something important for them because definitely nobody wants to buy an online business and nobody wants to don't have stock in the future. Like I mentioned, it was a back and forth, but it was really straightforward. And I'm sure that in the next due diligence, I'm going to feel it really, really easy compared to the first one, because in the first one is you don't know what you're doing. It's kind of
you don't know what to expect.
That's why it's important to have like a broker or a company that supports you, that is going to tell you, yeah, you need to be ready with this A, B, C, D, and then it's going to be really straightforward.
Agreed. So after the due diligence process, only then you get your first payment, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Tell us about the transition period and the payout conditions you had in your case. Like, I can quickly tell about my situation. My business was a little smaller size. I got $500,000, was pretty much all one payment right after the due diligence period ended. But in many cases actually, for larger businesses, it takes a little more time in terms of transition and in terms of receiving your final payments. What was it in your experience, Diego?
In my experience, it was a little different because I really want to focus on getting as much cash as I can in the first step, because we're building more brands, so we need the capital for that. So right. I just decided to accept like a lower valuation and just get a really small percentage based on the revenue of the business after selling. So that's called a stability payment or earnout. So I just decided to accept like a really small percentage based on that. And the other big percentage, I accepted just signing the APA. So after the due diligence, we signed the APA, and that same day they transferred, like I mentioned, a big amount of the business just by that day. So that was like my strategy. But if you want to get like a higher exit, maybe you can try to negotiate that. You can say, okay, give me 70% upfront, and the rest you can give me 10% in 6 months, 20% in 12 months, for example, based on the revenue and the goals for the business. So, but that, like I mentioned, that depends on every case. So in my case, that was the goal, 100% cash. I didn't make that, but it was really close to 100%.
So that was their proposal. Did you accept it to have the payments spread out over time?
Correct. They understand what I was looking for. So they say, okay, this guy, he wants to exit really quick. So we're going to lower the valuation a little, but we will give him a lot of upfront payment. So that's important to negotiate with them.
Okay. Yeah, everything's negotiable. Now, in terms of receiving those later payments, like 6 months from now, 12 months from now, from the time of the exit, are they in any way dependent on the performance of the business?
Yeah, of course. It depends on the performance of the business. In my case, the business need to be selling at least the same amount in the last 12 months when we sign the APA, the contract. So 6 months later, after signing that date, we're going to check the revenue, and we need to be at least on the same level or higher. Definitely the business is growing, like really good growth, but something can happen, because you are not in charge of the business. So it's always good to be like checking, to be support with these guys, because definitely you need that amount. Nobody wants to lose that percentage. So it's really good to be like, not try to just disconnect 100% from the business, try to be like checking in. If they have questions, you can answer. If they need like a Zoom call to try to understand where to put the effort or what people they need to hire, it's really good to be there for them, because they're like a partner for you. Maybe in the future, you build another brand and you want to sell to these same guys, and they will know you. So everything is going to be faster, because they trust you, they understand you. So
well said. I know in some cases, these big aggregators who buy Amazon businesses offer profit share moving forward. So based on how business performs, you get paid a percentage of the profits basically. And you may not even have much say because they are managing it fully moving forward, but they kind of incentivize you that way to sell to them because you get paid over time in the future as well. So that's something else to keep in mind if you're of a larger size, or if you want to negotiate the exit and you see that there's opportunity for this, might not be a bad idea, right? In your case, was it a big investment firm or was it more like a private office? Who's normally buying these businesses?
Okay, it's an aggregator that just started in the business. I cannot mention much about that, but they are based at the States. So they saw the opportunity of buying these brands and scale them and maybe sell them in the future. So they are into the space for a short time, and they are just like trying to build a portfolio of brands to scale and sell in the future.
In a way, you're teaching them how to manage the Amazon FBA businesses. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm like the support guy for them, because they are buying higher businesses, but there's always good to have someone who can tell you how to manage the business and how to try to scale from there.
That business model of raising funds, buying Amazon businesses, scaling them, selling some of them, or just increasing the arsenal of brands is quite popular right now. It's growing very fast from what I see, and there's definitely enough opportunity for almost any business right now to be sold for a fairly good multiple just because of the demand, just because of the attractiveness of the e-commerce model. For someone who's currently selling on Amazon, what are your top 3 recommendations in terms of how you can prepare your business for the best exit, for the best outcomes?
The first one, like I mentioned, is that you need to have your goal of how much money do you want to get on your exit. You need to know how much revenue you need to get, how much profit margin, how many marketplaces you need to be selling to make that. So that's something that's really important. Don't try to depend just in one product, because like in my case, I create some variation. So I have like my income coming from different variation under the same product. Try to create something else, like try to create like a product line, because that's going to be really interesting for the acquirer, because he's going to see that maybe 40% of is coming from your main product, but maybe 60% is the next 10 products. So that's something important for the business, to try to have diversity. And something else that I really recommend is to start selling in other countries. I was amazed of how much revenue we were getting from Europe with the same product. So that's something really important. I have seen a lot of sellers that they don't want to get into Europe because they felt like it's complicated. Definitely it is.
It is, I know.
But it's possible, it's possible. You can get your VATs online. You don't need to be there. You can be from Guatemala and get your VATs at the UK and France and all of these countries.
So it was worth it in your case?
Yeah, it was worth it, because you can scale even faster than launching products. using your same product, the same photos, the same videos, the same A plus content. You can just replicate it there. Definitely you need to translate and put it in the language of all the marketplaces, but it's really easy compared to launching new products. And then you have the supplier, you just put order from China to these countries, and you can start like getting a good amount of your revenue from Europe. I was getting around maybe 70% of the US and 30% from Europe. So that was a really good, because
That's pretty good.
I was getting only 100%, but only from the US. So you can scale from there. So that's something important to check.
Yeah, I would agree.
Don't think that Europe is too difficult or too far away. It's possible. You definitely can do it. You will have better profit margins there. You will have lower costs because the PPC campaigns right now are really cheap when you're compared to the States. So that's something that I recommend too. You will not have the search volume of the keyword. You will not have the same revenue, but definitely you're going to be more profitable. So that's something important to get in the amount of profit that you need to get the multiple that you want to get the exit that you want.
Yeah, very well said. Because ultimately your payout is based on your profits, right? So the more profits you generate, the more money you're going to get in your pocket when you sell the business. And in your case, and you're in home and kitchen space, it was a low-hanging fruit to expand to Europe, and it wasn't too complicated. It was still worth it to go through all of those hustles of setting up your business for selling products in Europe. And you recommend it to many brands because you see that a lot of people don't take advantage of that ease of expansion, right?
Yeah, really, really easy to expand from there.
Yeah, I love that advice. Good stuff. Well, I think we covered most of the questions I had and people from my Limitless Entrepreneurship group had. Wanted you to give us your final thoughts on creating something new. Like, what drives you? Like, why do you do what you do? Like, you sold the first business. Now, why do you start other ones? Why are you such an unstoppable digital nomad, online entrepreneur that can't just sit still? Like, what's your why?
Maybe I want to prove myself, that I'm capable, that I can reach these kind of businesses and I can build these brands, and I can be talking with any big company out there at the States and Europe and telling them, this is my brand, this is how much it's worth, and I know you want it, and here is for you. So that's something really important for me, because I really know that I have this like knowledge and this passion to build these brands, and I know how to build a team to make it happen. And the second, and maybe most important than the first one, is because I really want to inspire people. I'm from Guatemala City, and I start like learning online with my computer. I woke up really, really on the morning at 4 a.m. and I start studying, and I say like, I want to have this lifestyle. I saw people from the States, people from the UK, traveling all around the world, making online businesses and working on the beach on the computer. That's not true. You work from a co-working space, but it's possible. It's possible to say, I want to relax here in Brazil, for example. I want to stay in Brazil for 3 months. Then I want to go to Mexico. Then I want to go to Australia. It's possible, this kind of lifestyle. You can make it happen. So definitely for me, because I'm living this dream that I built, now I want to inspire people and share it. I'm always open to share it, and really happy to be on this interview with you, because I know this is like a way to spread the knowledge, to spread the business, and to try to understand for Latin guys how you can make it happen as I am doing right now.
Yeah, I love that message, man. It doesn't really matter where you're coming from. All that really matters is where you're going. In this time in our history, it doesn't really matter where you're located. And that's what I love about this business the most. Like, I can be anywhere.
It doesn't matter. There's a phrase that I really love, and it says like, you only need a computer and Wi-Fi. That's true. Something really, really true. You can create the freedom. You can make all the money that you want with only a computer with Wi-Fi. It's crazy, the age where we are living right now.
Yeah, only computer, Wi-Fi, and the right mindset, right?
Yeah.
Awesome, Diego. Appreciate you jumping on this call. I'm happy to share your story, and I only wish you to continue to create new brands and live the life of your dreams, man.
Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for your support in the beginning of my exit process. I really appreciate it.
If you're thinking of selling your own Amazon FBA or any e-commerce business for that matter, there's never been a better time to sell your business than right now. And I'm happy to help you. Talk to me free of charge. I'd love to share what I've learned throughout my own exit and what I keep learning from people like Diego who've been selling their businesses recently. I'd love to be a part of more stories like Diego's.